Hello, hello. Welcome to the Visionary Leaders Collective podcast. My name is Aisha Harley, and I'm so thrilled to be one of your hostesses and one of the Visionary Leaders founders. Join us every Monday at 10 a.m. Pacific time for enlightening conversations that delve deep into wellness and harness the transformative power of doTERRA essential oils. In the case you've missed an episode, you can catch up on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify. Stay connected with us at hellovisionary.life, and don't forget to subscribe to our newsletter, text reminders, and if you feel inclined to leave us a review, we so appreciate it. Today marks week 4 of our spring into summer wellness reset. I hope that you are all feeling refreshed and accomplished. Today, Dr. Josie and myself will be reviewing the next steps, and we will also have a Q&A at the end. So Dr. Josie, I'm going to pass it on over to you, and I will get our presentation ready.
Thank you, Aisha. So it's exciting, everyone, right? Have we been resetting? Have we been getting ready for deeper daily practices and lifestyle shifts, moving into new ways of being, into more energy? Our metabolism's working better, hormones feeling more balanced. That is our goal. So we've been working for this last more than a month on this reset, right? Spring into summer, resetting our immune system as well, hopefully helping with allergies in the spring season, and then moving into any kind of clearing, cleansing, resetting that we would like to be doing. This is work of spring that we love so that we can have fun in the summer, be like a lot of times this is where we do a lot more exercise. We're at the beach. We want our bodies functioning better. So we like to take this opportunity to envision what would that look like for each and every one of us in an individual way. So let's start. Aisha, do you see that I'm seeing a big black screen that just says Aisha has started screen sharing.
Okay, yes, I'm having some troubles again here.
Okay.
I
Good.
was
Just
actually
wanted to know.
wondering because I'm seeing it, so I don't
Yeah.
know. Hold
I know
on.
we had that when you updated your computer. It was like we were all seeing something different than you
I
were.
thought we had figured this out, but I am going to try again.
Aisha's the trailblazer, and sometimes I want to follow her into the new things, and then sometimes she does something like she upgrades first, and I'm like, no, I'm not going to upgrade. Mika's laughing. Yeah. Anywho,
Oh, here we go.
so we
Wait,
will.
let me hold on. Let me get this going because what I see on my side is different than on your side. I'm
Yeah,
sorry, everyone. I
that's
thought
fine.
we had this worked
So
out.
Aisha and I were talking this weekend, and we're like, what do we want to? How do we want to be ending this?
Can you see
This
now?
reset? No,
Okay, hold on, Air. I'm gonna send this to you and have you do it, and then I'll take it back. Sorry, Jose.
it's okay.
Let's not try to figure this out in
So
recording.
our what we wanted to do is set a foundation, and we did it a little bit differently with some of the integrating the new products. And we want to kind of show at the end of this the integration of foundational healthy lifestyle of integrating the new products. We want to integrate the new products in a sense with the old products, right? And kind of what that looks like is to many of us, and I know Dr. Mika Carew is here, and this is her foundation, and it's my foundation. It's many of us foundation is the Healthy Habits Kit and set of products. And so we want to kind of highlight and show how what we've been working with this reset can seamlessly weave into the Healthy Habits Kit. And so you have an updated, new and improved Healthy Habits lifestyle. So that's where we want to go and start. And then we thought You could start with myself and Aisha, with us. Then if we have time, if we want to talk about our own personal healthy habits, lifestyle, and the things aside from these foundational items, we both do these that we do differently and kind of talk, and we're each going to talk a little bit about some of our favorite items in addition that we each do in our lifestyles. And then we can see other people on the call as well. So let's look at the healthy habits. Is that where we are? Into the next slide, I think. Yeah, here it is. If you're not familiar with the Healthy Habits Kit, this is 90% of the time, most of us practitioners and or long time advocates working with doTERRA, we like to start someone who has one or more significant health issues that they're working with the Healthy Habits Kit. This is where we start, and so much of what we talk about goes into that. So it's the LLV, the Lifelong Vitality Pack of a multivitamin mineral complex with the Microplex VMZ, multi-land and sea omega complex in the EO omega, and an alpha CRS, which is a 19 plus ingredients of high level anti-inflammatories, antioxidants, both nutrient and herb. That 3-pack we've also been working with, right, with the reset. We've been working with that as the foundation. That is one of our ultimate foundations for giving the cells that nutritional base that they need for all of their cofactors, vitamins, and minerals to be upregulating, downregulating, coming into balance metabolically to do the work we're asking it to do to come out of a dysfunctional track, which we then in other terms call disease. Okay, so that's that foundation. In the reset, we were working with the new mineral electrolytes, which is kind of an addition. We already have the tracks minerals in the LLV, and this is additional minerals and electrolytes that we find incredibly helpful. And then we had the probiotic powder, that PB Restore Plus. In the Daily Habits Kit, we have kind of the parent brand, which is called PB, used to be PB Assist, and now it's PB Restore. This is a new, improved, full spectrum probiotic. I think we have 12 in the powder that are mostly more gut focused, but a little bit everywhere in the body. Whereas the PB Restore is it in the high 30s? I think it's 37 or 39 different probiotics, spanning from ones that are specific to our brain health, our entire digestive microbiome health, also our whole urogenital area and that health, our skin complex and that health. So one of the things we're going to talk about how you would begin to kind of integrate what we've been working with the reset into with the daily habits. We'll go into that in the next 2 slides. And then you see the TerraZyme. We offered that in the reset for people who were not going to be taking the Advantage collagen powder. And we said, let's work on your gut. Let's give that microbiome and that GI more assistance and get it into a little bit more balance before we add something like the Advantage. And so that is, you see here, part of that daily foundation of working with really a complex multifactorial enzymes that are helping to assist the body, both with digestion, but also with inflammation. And then the oils, right? In our reset, we worked with Symphony of the Cells and incorporating different kinds of topical applications on the body for different levels where people are starting in their comfort and how many oils they have. When you start with this Healthy Habits Kit, what you are receiving are 5 ml bottles of frankincense, balance, lavender, on guard, and tangerine, and then also a deep blue cream. Here you go. Remember, for the people who are just starting, if you want to take notes if you're an advocate and you're going to be working with people with this kit, or if you're new and you were working with the symphony, the introductory symphony of the cells that we were working with, it's 1 or 2. There was those top 10 oils. Here's the version. I'm going to give you the order that you would do on yourself, on your feet, on your low back, if someone's going to be doing it to you daily with the Daily Habits Kit. Okay. I'm telling you, you should reserve your 5 ml frankincense for 1 to 2 drops under the tongue and a little bit extra behind at the base of the neck and the brain. For your symphony, you're going to start with the first one being balance, that has a little bit of carrier oil in it. It's a carrier oil blend that's giving you that base. And you're going to move. This is if you're familiar with the aroma touch technique, this is the sequence that the aroma touch technique uses. It's not all the oils, but it's about half of them. So you go balance, and then you apply lavender, number 2. Number 3 is on guard. And number 4 is tangerine. And then you finish with the deep blue rub on top. That would be your sequence of the oils you would use if you're starting with this kit. I know Dr. Mika, she can come in, she teaches, and I think this is wonderful. Sometimes it's too much to teach people even to layer 4 or 5 oils. So you just start with a little bit of frankincense under the tongue, and you start with lavender on the feet at night, or you could do balance and lavender, one or the other, or both, and layer them. And then on guard in the morning on the feet, and then tangerine in water. Okay, that's giving people a first introduction to topical oil use, internal with tangerine in the water and a drop of frankincense under the tongue, right? And then you're working with these supplements. So what we're suggesting is, if you are really loving the reset, you're also have these 3 other products. You have the Advantage, which is the collagen powder, and you have this probiotic, which is a powder, and you have the electrolytes. I'm going to suggest, let's go to the next slide, Ari, is that, oh, is it the other, maybe they're different order. Okay, that's fine. I was going the other way. Yes, restore. What I'm going to suggest for people who've been on the reset is now to kind of swap this pill of PB Restore for is it PB Restore Plus? They changed the names and it gets me a little time. The little sachet of the probiotic that you take under the tongue. For you to try this, it's kind of upping, it's kind of doubling or even tripling that probiotic amount and effect. So it's a stronger, higher dose, and it's more far-reaching and complex. And so some of us will use both, because when you put both of them together, you're getting close to 45 different strains. The strains that are in the sachet are different than the ones that are in the store. So when you actually combine them, you're not just overlapping, you're expanding the complexity of what you are helping to support your microbiome with. I love that. But in the beginning, you've been working with this one. I'm suggesting to swap out and try this in your regime for a while, and then you'll have an idea of the different of how they are different, how they support you, how they work in your bodies. There's also just the thing of like, hey, I really want to take less pills. I really like the powder form. That's easier for me, right? You can kind of work with all of those and see what's working the best for you. Someone's asking, why do you put it under your tongue? That is sublingual absorption. That is the best absorption, where you're actually going to get true absorption into your bloodstream, not all of it, not swallowing it. When you swallow anything that you put under your tongue, the swallowed part goes through regular absorption that goes through the liver and affects the liver. Some of it can absorb straight in through the bloodstream there under your tongue and bypass that liver absorption and go directly to the bloodstream. And it's more direct, and it's a different pathway. And we like that Benny of kind of it. I call it a twofer. You get some swallowed and some directly absorbed. That's why. Okay, so let's go back now. Um, yes, Linda, you want some in the gut. You're gonna swallow some, trust me. You'll get both. Two for two for one. Because it's not just gut probiotics. Okay. Uh TerraZyme. Gosh, this goes back to fundamental old school naturopathic medicine, right? This idea of using additional support, first for our digestion and secondly for inflammation. So when we take a broad spectrum digestive enzyme complex, which means it's multiple enzymes combined together working on carbohydrate, protein, fat, and different levels of those, different kinds of enzymes all at once. When you take it with food, it is going to help break down your food more. It's going to give your digestion a really big boost. When you take it away from food, it's not going to be working on the food and the digestion, and it frees it up to go out into the bloodstream and work. I love the analogy of a Pac-Man, kind of chewing and eating up little inflammatory cytokines, particles, metabolites that are causing problems in the body. When we get older, anytime, I mean, roughly get past 40, your digestion starts to take a lot of hits, especially with America and the way we live with our stress and our standard American diet. And one of the first things that starts to happen, besides our actual numbers of enzymes just going down, our making of them goes down, we start to get junctions. They call them gap junctions in the lining of our gut, and those get exacerbated and bigger the more things that we are sensitive to, the more inflammation there is. The more inflammation there is, the more ability for undigested particles to get out into the bloodstream and then be something that the immune system is like, wait, what's that? I don't recognize that. That's not me. I'm going to attack it. So this is one of the mechanisms for a lot of inflammatory cascades and situations that we like to call autoimmunity and things like that. That this is our naturopathically one of our big mechanisms of how that goes down. So when you are supporting continually your body with extra enzymes while you're digesting food, so you don't have those bigger molecules going out into the bloodstream, and then enzymes there when you're not eating food to kind of clean up any debris, you're really giving another layer of support to systemically. So here is the beginning suggestion for something like TerraZyme, taking one capsule 5 times a day. And then, so preferably 3 meals, you're getting one capsule with each of the 3 meals, and then you're having it hopefully half the bottle or a bottle up in your bedroom, bathroom, and you're taking one capsule when you first wake up, brushing your teeth, and one capsule when you're going to bed. I'm just saying brushing your teeth, anchoring it to something, right? So waking up and going to bed, away from food. That is the way we love to do a generalized support with the TerraZyme. Yes or no? Do you want to say anything, add anything, Dr. Mika? Because I love how she talks about this too.
Yes, I mean, oh, this is so exciting to talk about the Daily Habits Kit.
Yes.
So when I talk about the TerraZyme, I say you take one in the morning, just like you suggested, like upon waking, and I usually take that with my MetaPower collagen, and that one prepares your gut for the food. And then you take one with each meal, right, to help with digestion of your food that you're taking in. And then the nighttime one helps to repair your gut lining while you sleep. So really 5
Yeah.
is the answer for all of us, at least 5.
Yeah. And then that's that baseline. But if there are a lot of digestive issues, if people are eating things they know they maybe shouldn't be eating, is not totally great for them, but they're still eating them, intolerances, things like that, the serving size is up to 3 pills. I say, so if you're actually, when you're having a meal, so if you're having a challenging meal, a lot of starches, a lot of things that are heavily cooked, heavily processed, you could go up to 2 to 3. Correct? Do you teach that as well, Mika?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. And especially when you're traveling, whether you're having a challenging meal or not, you should add more in before your meals.
Yeah. Okay. Great. So let's look back again. I think I just had a bookend of the, oh no, we talked about okay, let's go to the PB Restore. I talked about that a little. Yeah, there they are together. Do you want to go back a second, Ari, just to the Restore? Yeah. Hey, everyone. Let's read this for a second. 29 total strains with 22 species and 18 billion CFUs of prebiotic, probiotic, and postbiotic. Prebiotics are kind of the food for the probiotics. The probiotics are the healthy microorganisms that you want to be living there. And the postbiotics are some of those metabolites that those probiotics make that are really good for us. So you're getting that, they're called bacteriophages, and they help our whole gut microbiome in a whole other kind of way. So this is incredible broad spectrum support, and it's in a time released duo cap, which is very important. When you're looking at probiotics, most of them try and put up, I mean, 18 billion is a very large amount actually, but you'll see some as high as 50 billion, and they have no delivery mechanism. That's probably worth maybe 1 or 2 billion. If it does not have a time released or a specific kind of mechanism to get it through the stomach acid into the small intestine, that big number drops down to like hardly any. So that's incredibly important, all of that. See that it's GMO and gluten-free, and you can see the different strains and how they are supporting different areas of our body, like immunity, digestion, our brain, our lungs and respiratory, our skin, our mood, our sleep, our urinary, our metabolism, right? Talk about broad spectrum. So I just really love that. And then, so these would be the two, the TerraZyme and the PB Restore. If you've been really doing, let's go to the next slide, Ari, that if you've been doing the reset, here's my challenge, is to bring these two in, and you could kind of replace the PB Restore with that PB Plus powder initially. And then let's look again at that. And so really, you already have some oils. You could be expanding. Let's look at the next slide. I think it's just looking at that daily habits again, right? So that's the only difference. You've already been working with the LLV. You have oils you've been working with. You want to start to order a few more to expand to different symphony, to different support of an area. That would be awesome. Getting a deep blue stick or rub if you don't have that. But bringing in TerraZyme and PB Restore. All right. I think Aisha, we want to move on to the next slide. I think, yeah, if Aisha's not ready, I could talk about some of my stuff, or do you want to, why don't you want to go, Aisha, first, and then I'll go?
Sure. Of
Okay.
course, I am happy. I am curious though, Dr. Josie, before we move to the Adaptiv,
Yeah.
Linda did ask this question about putting the probiotics under your tongue versus taking them in a pill. And I am curious about those different pathways. Can you talk about that just for a moment? What happens when we take it sublingually versus down into our gut?
I actually, those little tiny powder particles have a coating on them. They are enterically coated so they have a delivery system to get through the stomach acid into the small intestine. The small intestine is where you're actually absorbing into the bloodstream. So I think and doTERRA recommends that you do it in the mouth, right in the tongue. So I'm assuming, I have not looked into it, that even though it has that delivery system, that it's some of it is absorbable under the tongue directly. I don't know that. I'm following their guideline. What happens when you take things sublingually is, unless you're very diligent and you keep it there and you don't swallow anything and you keep it for like 5 to 10 minutes, most of the time you're swallowing a lot of it. So you're getting some direct absorption under the tongue, and then you're getting quite a bit of normal swallowing.
Right.
So I guess there's a good question for Dr. Hill
Yeah, I also know that
or Dr.
that
Osgood or what, or who have you.
yeah, the PB plus is also wonderful for children. So anybody that does not like to take pills, I mean, it's good for all of us, but if you do have children and they are not wanting to take pills, under the tongue is a perfect way to get those in their system. And the other thing that, I mean, maybe this was just my own personal realization, but I always thought of probiotics as, oh, we get it in yogurt and it's good for our gut. I never realized the impact of probiotics on our mental health, on our urinary tract, like on so many things
Yes.
beyond just our gut. And I have personally had profound changes in my mental health. It's so been supportive for my depression and anxiety. And also, I really want to make a call out if you have a fussy bladder, which I do, if you're prone to UTIs, these products can be immensely helpful. So I really want you to think about probiotics in a bigger capacity than just in our gut, and realizing that getting all of these different strains really do so much within all the systems of the body.
Yes.
So, yes, that's been a big aha for me. Maybe all the doctors, of course, already know that, but that was something that I was.
Well, it really blew open the world of all the studies that on probiotics and things when, I don't know, it was about 15 years ago, fecal transplants came on the scene, and for very specific uh what was it, C. difficile, and some incredibly difficult colon issues. The FDA made it available for those people, and they were getting, what that means is you get someone else's um cleaned and processed and everything, but fecal matter, and you get it inserted enema wise into you, and they're trying, it's a transplant of all of that, of the fecal matter. So they're trying to kind of replace all of your probiotic situation with someone else's that's healthy. And they do, it's a heavy screening. And what they saw, this is like 15, even 20 years ago, when they started doing this, was that people's like other diseases, like all over the place kind of diseases that were nowhere, no one ever connected to the gut or probiotics, were getting cured and going away when people did these fecal transplants. That blew the mind of the Western medical world. And I think that's what really started them looking into, probiotics and being like, oh, these are important. Yeah.
Yes, and I will say there are studies too for people that are autistic, people that have Parkinson's disease, different mental health issues, the difference that the right probiotics can make. So there's just a really exciting, like Josie said, new information about this. So that leads us into the Adaptiv line. Drop a little heart or one in the chat if you use the Adaptiv line. This came out a couple of years ago, and in full transparency, um, I think really my entire life, and as strange as this sounds, I have struggled with depression and anxiety because sometimes we're wired in a certain way. We don't actually recognize that within ourselves. But one of the ways that anxiety shows up for me is with racing thoughts and spinning thoughts. And I get really fixated on something. And, whether it's a project or a new pair of shoes or whatever it may be, sometimes I can wake up in the middle of the night with these racing thoughts. And sometimes I just want to turn it off because it kind of drives me crazy, especially if it's something that's negative that's not really serving me. When the Adaptiv line came out and I started taking it at convention, it was one of those products that I noticed an immediate shift. I mean, it was like someone finally turned the stop button off, and I was like, "Whoa, thank you." I really appreciated that support. So, if you struggle with stress, with anxiety, with depression, um, the Adaptiv line is so incredibly helpful to help you stabilize your mood, to increase the feelings of tranquility, just to soothe any kind of anxious feelings. And I'm going to share with you how I use it and how I recommend that you use it for different situations. So, personally, I like to take one in the morning and I like to take one in the evening before bed. And this is especially helpful, again, if you have problems sleeping, if you have problems falling asleep, if you wake up with any kind of racing thoughts. Now, if you use it with the essential oil throughout the day, so that the gel cap is going to last in your system about 5 hours, right? So, and I also like to use things preventatively. If you know that you're having a stressful time or you're in a stressful period of your life or you're experiencing kind of depression, anxiety, then just take it every day to help stabilize yourself. You can also take it as needed. So if you're just having a really bad day or really struggling, you can take it as needed, and that will definitely offer relief. But again, if you're in a season that you're having a lot of stress, then there is a period that I was taking it every day. If you then use the essential oil by either rolling it on and or also putting it in your diffuser, smelling it aromatically also has a really impactful effect and impact on the brain. And that's actually going to like amplify what you're taking internally. So using the system together is so incredibly beneficial. This product has GABA in it, which is very soothing and calming for the brain. It also has something in it called scallidium, which is a herb. I believe it's from Africa, and it's very also calming to the nervous system. So if you have not experienced the Adaptiv line, if you have a lot of stress and anxiety in your life, then by all means, this is a product to consider. Eric, go ahead and take us to the next slide. Okay, so Copaiba. Now, the Copaiba is something that I have added in with the Adaptiv, and then I'm also going to talk about Serenity to really also help amplify the effects of actually both. Copaiba it works on the CBD receptors in our brain. So if you take CBD, and for either pain or anxiety, we recommend considering Copaiba because it is coming from a pure source. It works on those cannabinoid receptors in the brain. So it works in the same way that a CBD product does. However, one thing to know about many CBD products on the market is they're not tested and we do not know about their purity, where Copaiba is showing to be actually more effective, and it has that Doterra backing of its purity and its potency and its quality. You can take it in the gel cap, and or you can also use this under your tongue with the essential oil and or roll it on topically. So it's great for pain and inflammation, but then it's also really good for that emotional support. And then that leads us into the Serenity, into the next slide. So another area of my life that I personally struggled is with my sleep. When I had Lyme disease, I had really bad insomnia for 3 years. So I know firsthand the just the impact of not getting good sleep. And we really live in a it's cool to not get any sleep culture. I don't need any sleep. How many people have you heard, "Oh, I don't need to sleep. I'll sleep later. It's not that important." Well, research is really coming forward to show that we absolutely need sleep, and that that women, especially women that are menstruating, actually need around 9 to 10 hours of sleep. So much happens when we sleep that is imperative for our health. If you are struggling with weight loss, if you are struggling with anxiety, depression, or any kind of health issues in general, making sure that you get adequate sleep should be at the top of your priority list. Now, what can happen is that oftentimes we are exhausted, right? We're running on empty. We're running on that high adrenaline and that high cortisol. So when we get to that time to go to sleep, we can't sleep. Has anybody experienced that? You can drop something in the chat if you had. And that is the worst feeling ever, when all you want to do is turn it off, but you can't. One of the reasons that happens is because the cortisol is so amped up in our system that our cycle gets out of sync, and then that cortisol is surging through our system at night. So as much as you want to turn it off and sleep, we can't. And then it just sort of like perpetuates the negative cycle. So that's again where the Adaptiv is going to start to soothe the nervous system and bringing it down, along with the support of that copaiba. And then we also have the Serenity. So the Serenity something is, yeah, the caps are actually currently out of stock at the moment, so hopefully they will be back soon. But the Serenity formula has been updated. So if you are taking it in the past and maybe you thought, "Oh, it didn't work that great for me," it has been reformulated and it's extremely effective. They added tart cherry to it, and tart cherry naturally helps promote your melatonin production. We've also shown that if you diffuse essential oils while you are sleeping, it actually helps improve your cognition. There's some really cool clinical tests around this. And then also we have the Serenity stick that has valerian in it. And the way that I use this is I just rub it on before I go to bed. And if I wake up in the middle of the night and can't get back to sleep, I will rub that Serenity stick on. So the combination of using the essential oil, the stick, and the supplement is really going to help support your sleep. Personally, I take 2 of these, and then my whole sleep protocol at night is I take 1 Adaptiv, I take 2 Copaiba, and I take 2 Serenity gel caps. So that's what works for me. Again, you can play with that to see what's best for you. And then again, do not underestimate the power of diffusing or applying the essential oil before you go to bed. Years ago, before I knew all that I knew now, I started diffusing the essential oil for my dog that had a lot of anxiety. And I noticed that I started sleeping better. So that was kind of a benefit. I was trying to help my dog, and I was like, wow, diffusing that oil at night really is impactful. So that's what I have to share about those products, but we really wanted to make sure that you are aware of these. So along with your baseline foundation of the daily habits, bringing in that stress support and that support for sleep can really help round out your protocol. So let's go ahead. I think that was our last slide, and or Dr. Josie, I'll hand it back on over to you. So Ari, you can I think, unshare the screen at this point. And Dr. Josie or Dr. Mika, do either of you have anything to share around any of those products?
Well, I do. So I'm so glad you mentioned about the PB Restore and all the different urinary tract, the bladder, the brain. Um, I want people to know too, because it affects the smooth muscle tissue. So smooth muscle tissue is like the sinus cavity, the throat, the respiratory system, the bladder, all the way down the digestive system. So you can think about too, about sinus support, allergy support. The sinuses go here all the way up your nose, all the way up around your brain into the back. So it's supporting your brain and also supporting your nose. So clearing the pathways in your sinuses, but know that they come up and around as well. So I've seen great results with the PB Restore on all smooth muscle. So you can think of smooth muscle as the throat, even the ears, right? So the eustachian tubes, all the things. Um, and then about the Adaptiv and Serenity, think about elders. So I'm taking care of my parents, right? And their generation didn't really talk about anxiety and want, they do not, at least my parents don't talk about the trauma. My dad is a Vietnam vet who was missing in action. Doesn't talk about it, you know, and he's, but so what his protocol at night is 2 serenities and the stick on the bottom of his feet, but 2 serenities. And then I always diffuse either Serenity or Adaptiv in the house at all times. And then in the morning, he takes 2 Adaptivs. And so it's kind of like he has support in the morning and at night, and that there's no wiggle room. Like he does not take them. It's either that or some PTSD pill that he tried, and it didn't work out for us in this household. There's so much more. I also want to say that with this healthy daily habits kit, people come to me for support and are recommended to see me, and I basically prescribe the daily habits kit and they think it's a miracle. And it's exactly how Dr. Josie and Aisha laid it out. That's how I usually tell them to take it. And so you all too, if you're wellness advocates, you can help so many people with this kit.
Mhm.
It is really a game changer, and people are recommended to me for very serious conditions. And it usually takes care of itself with this daily habits kit. That's a really good place to start. Yeah.
Yeah, right. We were taught by Dr. Tom, one of our teachers, this idea, and some other old of our wonderful docs, to clearing the field is a concept. And people are complex. And when they come to you as a wellness advocate, or if they come to us as practitioners, doesn't matter. They come with all of their life, and they don't come with one issue. It's really complex. And if you're not, trained, you're like, oh my gosh, how am I gonna work with all this? This is how you work with all of this, everybody. Trust us. You give the foundational things for the body to start healing itself and clearing the field. What that means is you give all of these nutrients, all of this foundational support, and about 1/2 to 3/4 of all of their diagnoses and stuff is going to clear up because the body's going to be able to handle it. With given the right support, the body can heal itself and handle it. That's called clearing the field. You want to do that for a minimum of 3 months on this foundation. Then you get to see what's left. What's left is the strange, rare, and peculiar stuff that you get to get a little more specific and look up in any of the different, I love Essentials of the Earth app with your essential oils, and get in on they have a specific thing that hasn't cleared with all of that. It's still there. And now you get to do a blend. You get to work with the oils. You get to bring in some of the extra things we've talked about. But if you do it the other way around, which is what people want, they want to feel like they're getting a special essential oil blend because you're an essential oil person. They don't want to take supplements. I can tell you, because I deal with this too, right? Because that's more juicy and fun and like cool. They're not going to do as well. You're not going to do as well, and they might move on. This is the harder way, but this is the way you're going to help more people, is if you start with the healthy habits kits for 3 months. And if they have enough money, you can add in more slowly in those 3 months, or you just stick with the healthy habits kit. And then you go to the fun, juicy blends. Sometimes I'll give them the healthy habits kit and one little extra, and an extra thing to kind of keep that sense of like, oh, this is special for you and it's juicy. Yeah, Mika, go ahead. But this is like, these are our doctor super big tips for everybody on working with anyone, your family member, your friend, or in a business.
So, you know that you mentioned about the essential oils in the kit.
Yeah.
Those are game changers for a lot of people to do it how you suggested, or I tell them to take in the morning, they put On Guard on the bottom of their feet and then followed by Balance. And then, like you said, the tangerine in the water, the frankincense, 1 drop in the mouth first thing in the morning. And then at the bottom of their feet at night is Balance and lavender. So that's just Dr. Hill's daily protocol that he gave us a long time ago. And that kind of satisfies that oil situation for people. And then and then after 3 months, when you're trying to take care of the strange, rare, and peculiar, I usually go to the SOCs because it's laid out. Are they having cardiovascular? Are they having blood sugar? Are they having more inflammation? Are they having sensory? Are they having neurological? That's where you can pinpoint those things after you give them the daily habits for 3 months at least. And then they're going to be so excited to continue with the daily habits kit because it's working so well. So that's how you can support your people.
I love that. And maybe this is too much, but I think this is a pretty juicy call, right? This is one we might be referring people to for many different reasons and levels. Can I add in can I plant some seeds for people who are ready for a 2.0 level? Aisha talked about the mood, emotional, mental, anxiety, everything, and I love it. We beyond the daily habits and the SOCs, we bring in Adaptiv, Serenity, and for sleep and all those things, and Copaiba, definitely. I want to talk about a couple extras that we work with at the 2.0 level after starting with the LLV, right, for the first 3 months. And that is, if someone is having a lot of inflammation, pain, chronic things like that, these are indispensable as well. Deep Blue Polyphenol Complex. If you ever text me and work with me, I'm going to use the acronym DBPC. That's what that means. Deep Blue Polyphenol Complex. I eat these like candy. I'm like, right, Mika? I have a knee thing going on. I have a back thing going on. Minimum, I'm doing 2-3 times a day on top of my LLV. That's for an acute situation. I'm also taking 1-3 times a day of this also in an acute pain and inflammation, right? That means an owie, I did something, I have a thing that's going on. I'm going to plant a seed for everybody is after that initial base of maybe you stay forever and for a long time, the LLV is fantastic. Out of those 3 bottles, 1 bottle, the Alpha CRS, remember that was the one that was the 19 different nutritional and herbal complexes to work with inflammation and antioxidants. Sometimes it can be a little more oomph. Sometimes I do it in addition to the LLV and I'm taking out the turmeric here, and now I'm adding in the Mitomax. Sometimes I do the LLV and these two. Other times there's something called the daily nutrient pack, which is just the vitamin and mineral part of the LLV and the oil, omega oil part of the LLV. They take the alpha CRS out. Sometimes I have them do the daily nutrient pack and then order these two. These two were formulated to take the place of the alpha CRS, but be a little bit more. It's like alpha CRS plus. The serving size of alpha CRS, the full serving size is 4 caps a day. The serving size of this is 2 caps a day, and the serving size of this is 2 caps a day. 2 and 2 equals 4. Same amount of pills. It's just different formulations, a little more. It's extra. So think of these two together as alpha CRS extra. If that's too complicated, alpha CRS is amazing. I love it. You don't have to mess with that. I told you that this was a 2.0 situation to just think about for those of you who are really working with some people. They just formulated the Mito 2max, and we're very excited to start working with that. This is a powerhouse for adrenal issues, for energy issues, for cardiovascular stuff, for metabolism. So that's exciting to do in addition with this. Yes. Oh, you said energy there. So that was my, I don't know, maybe that's enough. I was then going to talk about my hormone extras for people. I consider the daily habits kit. And then if you're having a perimenopause, menopause woman, here's what I will add in maybe on month 2 or 3 or 4, in addition to the daily habits, the phytoestrogen complex, 1-2 times a day. And I'll just add them in with my LLVs. This is incredible for helping to support those hormonal changes. And then I do Zendocrine oil, AM and PM, on the bottoms of the feet for helping with the liver and detoxification, with working those hormones through your body. And I absolutely would be bereft without Claricom for the last 12 years. This oil is amazing. You can get into singles and you can do a lot, but this is the starting point for any woman past 40 in perimenopause, menopause. The way I love to use it is I rub it on my lower belly and then rub it in with my wrists, but I also rub a little bit on my fingertips, and then I do 3 squirts of this. This is the body mist, Doterra body mist. Fingertips, 3 squirts of this, rub it together, 3 gentle, like you're working with lymphatic tissue, gentle rubs down, and 3 to 5 over, 3 down, 3 to 5 over. Every single morning I do this. I've been doing it for 12 years. It's a twofer. It's the beginning of your deodorant, or it's your whole deodorant. And it's that lymphatic daily massage through all of this underarm towards your breast tissue. So important. And you're giving a real support for your lymph tissue and your breast tissue while you're getting an incredible deodorant. Mika, yeah. So that's my that's what I add in for hormone support. I know this is a lot. This is big, but sometimes we just decide to power pack it. If you're not ready for it, don't worry. Don't feel overwhelmed. It was kind of like, that's level 2, right? Yeah. Level 1 is the daily habits kit.
We're getting near the end of our time. Was there anything else, Dr. Mika, that you wanted to add before we wrap up?
No, that was just beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for all those descriptions and all that information, both of you. It's really important with the environment that we're living in
Yeah.
to be continually supporting our health, and physical, mental, and spiritual well-being. And this is how you can do it.
I really want to extend my deepest gratitude for you both. We have these calls every week, and sometimes I'm not sure that everyone listening realizes the value of having doctors here with us, giving their free advice, that people go to them and pay a lot of money to get the same advice. So it's really such a gift, and we are so incredibly grateful. And I also want to point out a couple of things. We can look at all of this and think, wow, that's a lot. Well, first of all, think of this as your own personal health insurance plan, because if we don't invest in ourselves now, I promise you the cost is going to be far greater later down the road, far greater. And secondly, we are all here now for going on 14 years because of the impact and the difference that these products have made in our life. As Dr. Josie said, she's been doing those protocols for 12 years. I mean, same with me. When I came into Doterra, I was very, very ill with Lyme disease. I was spending thousands of dollars on my health and nothing was shifting. And it was because of these products that I went into remission, that I continued to heal, and that I've not relapsed, which is very uncommon with Lyme disease. So we are all walking, living testaments of the power of this product. We're not here because we're just trying to sell you something. We are here because we want to empower you to be healthy and to be happy and to be able to feel good and live a great life. And on the last note, I know some of you are here and you have businesses that you've built with doTERRA, and some of you are just customers. You all have the capacity to share this information with your family and friends. And if you're just a customer, you have a referral link. And if you go into your back office and you get that referral link and you share, you can earn doTERRA dollars. You can earn up to 599 doTERRA dollars, which you can then use to pay for your products. So there is a way that you can basically get free healthcare from doTERRA, and I promise you it is worth it. It is so worth it. So with that, we have a lot of exciting things coming up next month. And I want to give you a little teaser that we have a long-awaited new product being released, which are the Yarrow Palm eye masks, which we are super excited about. And we also have the re-release of the Rose Duet that is by far probably the best Mother's Day gift you could purchase, and make sure and purchase several for yourself. This is a once a year release. It is only while supplies last. I bought enough for the year and I'm out, so I am really excited to restock. Everybody that ran out was bummed, and we are going to be talking about these products next week. So
Yeah.
please
Can I give
join.
a little plug too? Like,
Yes,
yes, I
by
just
all
love it.
means.
Seriously, I know we say things, but I think this Rose Duet was the hands down favorite extra. Yeah, Aria has a box there, extra LTO limited time offer doTERRA's ever come out with. And the packaging is magnificent. It's gorgeous. It has that has that vellum pink like layer, and then it's this beautiful box, and then take off the pink layer, Ari, and then there's this like, and then the bottles are gorgeous. It's like it's top shelf level. And I don't know the price now. Everything has gone up. But it was $65, I think, last year. Am I off on that? I don't know about you. As Aisha said, I bought enough for myself to have through the year, and then I hoarded up. I bought more for prezzies. I love giving nice presents to my mama, my sisters, my girlfriends who don't do doTERRA. Like people like that. If you're going on a trip and you're going to stay with someone, or you want a house present or something, there's nothing else I know of on all Amazon, the whole markets, where I got that value. like as beautiful as beauty and quality gift, and then I can tell them about it and talk to them. Seriously, you're done for Hanukkah, for Christmas, for Kwanzaa, like you're done. So that's how I feel about that product. And I have not tried the mask, but I'm deeply excited. So I'm going to hoard up on those too.
Awesome. So look for that. We'll be posting the information soon. Thank you all for joining us. If you have not given us your update about how you've been doing with the cleanse, please do so on the post from yesterday, the Sunday check-in. And we love being here with you every week. Thank you for joining us live. Thank you for listening to the recording. And we will look forward to connecting with you all soon. Bye-bye, everyone.
Goodbye.